Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome into the Real Monica Adams Show. I'm your host, Monica Adams, and one of your favorite segments that we do is Positive Talk Time. Boy, we're going to have fun today. We're going to sit down and recap that wonderful gala that we had just over the weekend and moving forward, what that will allow them to do with the money that was raised from all of you. What an incredible outpouring of love and support from the community. It was a blast. We talked a little bit about it on Tuesday with Steve Ewing from Steve's Hot Dogs, who played for us that night. We're also going to talk about Christmas coming up. And I know we haven't even gotten to Halloween, but everybody's talking about the holidays. You go into the stores, you see Thanksgiving already and Christmas stuff already, which means people are thinking about what they want to buy for their loved ones. Don't try to get a puppy for your kids for Christmas. And we're going to explain why. I've also talked all about adopting, not shopping. You know, for those of you that go into a pet store and you're like, oh, look, I'm going to buy a dog. We're going to tell you what's behind that story. And hey, you always have wonderful questions and comments about dogs. If you have any questions for Jessica Cook, the owner of Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa, Cottleville is the location we're at, but they also have their O'Fallon location and a lot of great services. So maybe start thinking about getting the animals ready for the holidays and then making it a regular thing. In fact, we talked about a special that Jessica was running. Hopefully you took advantage of that as we get into 2025. So think about maybe stopping in and getting their nails done, getting grooming done, getting them bathed. Maybe if you have travel coming up, thinking about not stressing about who's going to watch your doggy. All of those wonderful things can take place right here at Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa. Julie just said the gala was great fun. Yes, good morning. Good morning to Julie Purcell. Hannah, thank you so much for being at home and moderating for us. Sean Fitzgerald, good morning to you. And that's what a lot of people like to do. Drop in comments throughout the show. Tell us where you're watching from. A lot of you on Facebook. We're also on YouTube, X, Rumble, and Instagram. So we're going to be joined by Jessica in just a second. Let me give you the forecast, and you're going to feel a difference when you step out this morning. It is much chillier. In fact, yesterday, a lot of you were in the low 60s, maybe upper 50s. Today, down into the 40s. Some of you actually even in the 30s. 73, though, so we are going to warm up today. Partly sunny skies. Now, there is a chance of some rain tomorrow, as you can see. 76, though, for the high and 47 for the low. This weekend, 66 and 68 for Saturday and Sunday. So a little chillier and then dropping into the low to upper 40s. Look how windy it's going to be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Hold on to those hats. 77 on Monday for the high. But look at that, warming back up on Tuesday and Wednesday, 83, and a slight chance of rain starts moving in Wednesday. Thursday is Halloween, and Friday and Saturday. We haven't had rain, so this is going to be a welcome to a lot of you. Still saying 71 for the high on Halloween, but the low 52. Now, I mentioned, depending on whether you look at the European model or the U.S. model, it shows a little warmer for the U.S. model and a little chillier for the European model. We're still pretty far out. We are exactly a week away from Halloween. I can't believe we're saying that. And then we go into the following weekend, 70 on Friday, 69 on Saturday. You definitely can't complain when you're talking about what the temperature looks like. If you are outside of our immediate area, we like to start and give a little bit for St. Louis, the Missouri, the Illinois side. Now, for all of you, I mentioned that I would definitely give a follow-up to this story. Well, they are back on the picket line. It did not work out. Boeing, again, rejecting an offer, and they will continue the strike. You see there's a sign displayed on a cone as workers picketed outside the Boeing company manufacturing facility, and this is in several areas. This particular sign was in Washington, and that was on Tuesday. Boeing and the union representing 33,000 striking workers reached a tentative agreement on a new contract with help from the White House, underscoring the high stakes to end the work stoppage that crippled one of the largest U.S. exporters. That, again, was a ratification vote, but they rejected a new contract as pensions proved to be the sticking point. They said they're trying to take care of themselves after not getting what they thought they deserved over the last decade. A McDonald's supplier is recalling some onions. That's another big story. And Boeing workers say they're going to reject a labor contract that would have increased their wages by 35% over 4 years amid anger over pensions. Some 64% of the union members who cast ballots voted against the tentative agreement. At least that's lower than the overwhelming 94% vote against the initial offer, which was in September. So we will continue to monitor that and see when they may accept the offer and get off the picket line. Here's the problem, though, with how long it's been going on. Boeing is talking about furloughs and layoffs, and that will affect our immediate St. Louis area. So we'll continue to follow that story. I mentioned yesterday about McDonald's and how there is an E. coli outbreak, 1 death, 10 people hospitalized, 4 dozen, though, that came forward and said they were sick after eating the Quarter Pounder, which right now is off of the menus at McDonald's. They still, though, are not identifying the ingredient. Is it in the meat or it is in the onions? They did a voluntary recall of the onions that were used, again, for the Quarter Pounders. So we will see if there's anybody else that comes forward with that. I hope not. We're hearing so much. I mean, it's almost strange to me how many times I do a story about not so much E. coli, but listeria. I mean, it's been over and over and over again. And I was just scrolling through this morning and saw even more in that particular realm. Doesn't it make you wonder? I mean, I don't know, like weigh in on that if you want to, but it just makes me wonder of why there's so many. I think the latest had to do with waffles that were being recalled because of a listeria problem. All right, let's give you some good news. Musician Jelly Roll. Did you see this? He made a dream come true for a Metro East woman battling terminal cancer. And she said that he is an angel walking on earth. The cancer patient is Keita Miller, and her prayers were answered Wednesday at the Enterprise Center. The 65-year-old's been battling terminal cancer, and her dying wish was to meet her favorite musician, and that, of course, was Jelly Roll. It came true. This was a quote from her. She said, "He's very special in God's eyes. I believe that 100%. God put him here for a reason." So Jelly Roll performed in St. Louis last night, met with Miller one-on-one before hitting the stage, and she said it was a dream she thought she would never, ever see. She said, "I went and got tested, and they said, you've got cancer," and they gave her 3 months to live. She said, whenever he sings, "Come On Home," I'm ready. The James Bees Foundation is responsible for making the once-in-a-lifetime meetup happen. She said, "This is what we live for." That's the woman from the foundation. She said, "We want to replace that hope and the joy that's lost due to life circumstances." I believe he's smiling down and just beaming with pride and joy over what is taking place. That has to do with the nonprofit that was in honor of her father, who passed away from cancer before receiving his final wish. So they're loving what they see. For Miller, the embrace with the man who motivated her to keep going ended with prayer before she attended the first concert at the age of 65. She was actually holding up a sign saying, "This is my first concert, and I am 65 years old." Jelly Roll, way to go. Way to step it up. I love that. I didn't actually know about this restaurant. I was asking Jessica if she had. We both saw this moving around on social media yesterday. Did you ever go to Billy's on Broadway? It is closing. Yet another exit from downtown. Billy's on Broadway says the closure is due to restaurant industry issues. Billy's on Broadway opened in June just of 2023, and they announced on Tuesday they're closing on Friday. According to the Post, the current landscape of the restaurant industry has become increasingly challenging and pushed the business beyond its reasonable limits. So do them a favor and maybe go pack it and tell them thank you for the time that they were open. All right, I want to give a little shout out to the Fox. Had a chance to go see Cirque du Soleil Song Blazers last night. I actually didn't know it had a country tie until I was getting ready to go. That's how busy my life is. Until I got ready to go last night. Oh my gosh. You want to talk about talent, especially the girls and the guys that do like the silks. You know what I'm talking about? If you've watched Pink before, you know what I'm talking about. They do that, but they also do it with ropes. And then these guys are incredibly talented the way they flip around, you know, how they do all those pyramids and they're way up high. And then it's all mixed in with iconic music from the country music scene. So I'd love for you to go and support the Fox and support them. Again, it'll run through October 27th. So it kicked off last night, goes through the 27th. Your kids will love it. And one of the things that I saw, and Jim was mentioning, people must be following this one and obviously knew because they were all dressed up. I mean, I'm talking full on fringe and cowboy hats and cowboy boots and really, really dressing the part. The other one I want you to get ready for is this one. If you are a Neil Diamond fan, this one's coming to the Fox. A Beautiful Noise. I mentioned, I'm crossing my fingers that we will get a chance to talk with Nick Fradiani, who plays Neil Diamond. You remember him from American Idol? So we're still trying to see if we can get that one set up. That will open October 29th, and that one runs a little longer. That will go through November 10th. All right, and some sports news from the Blues playing Toronto Maple Leafs. That's on tap today. That begins their 4-game road trip. The puck will drop at 6 p.m., as you can see. And then coming up this weekend, not good news. I heard that there's a couple of players with Mizzou that may be out, and they're playing a very tough Alabama team, and they are on the road with this. We also heard that Robert Thomas is out for maybe 6 weeks with the St. Louis Blues with a broken ankle. So injury reports across the board in sports. That's not good news. All right, 7:12. We are going to take our first break, and when we come back, we're going to sit down. First thing we're going to do is celebrate an incredible weekend of raising money for Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. And I got a chance to do one of the things that I absolutely love. Here, check it out. Doing a little MC work. Yes, if you would like to book us, just shoot me an email, info@TheRealMonicaAdams.com. Steve Ewing with he was with The Urge, and now he's got his own band and Steve's Hot Dogs. He's like, you're really good. He's like, how the heck did you get all those people to raise that much money? And I said, because they got a huge heart and they know what we're there for, which is what we kept stressing. We were there for her and all the wonderful work that she does. Let me introduce you, if you've never met her before, Jessica Cook, the owner of Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa and Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. So are you still like beaming from that night?
Yes, I can't stop smiling. I was exhausted. There was so much planning going into that event. And that night I slept like a rock. It was just, my heart was full and everybody showed up and you were amazing. Everybody, awesome. Like all the staff and the volunteers and the people there, like they were just raving about you. So
well, I loved it. I mean, again, my heart is in it to help because, well, you know, I'm a big animal lover, and obviously that's why we started this wonderful segment that we've been doing for a while now. But it was, let's do this. Let's bring it home. And we, doubled the amount that was raised last year.
Yeah.
So what do you think went into that?
Well, we always so that was our third gala. Mm-hmm. So we always listen to the people. What do they want? They wanted to go back to the venue. They wanted the sit down dinner. They wanted more of the live auction. They wanted the band, because it is, you know, you want to have fun and it's a great evening out. And, I think the difference definitely was you.
Well, no.
I mean it. I truly mean it, because I've told you, I think when we started this, like, so we know we do good rescue work. We are horrible at fundraising. And so, you know, just like, I'm no good at math. I have an accountant. I know my wheelhouse. And so we really needed somebody who believes in our mission and to help us do the ask. And you did, and everybody came through.
Thank you. Well, but it was all of you, right? You showed up. First of all, you purchased your tickets. You spread the word. You ended up, which is what happens a lot. I mean, you get into that, and I know she was stressed now. You get into that stress out mode of, okay, we're weeks away, we're days away, and then suddenly everybody,
you all stressed me out. So if you've never planned a venue, like, I'm gonna be stressed out with, like, when my daughter gets married. So you have to turn in how many people are coming. And we were like, well, we're shooting for, you know, at least, we always have at least 200. We can have 250. And I think I told you, like, the last show we did, we were like
175.
And we're like, well, we already paid for 200. We have to know. And then literally, I'd like to think it was my last dancing TikTok video.
That was good. That was actually great.
I mean, we sold tables, so we sold out last minute, but like, that was stressful. So then we're stuffing extra swag bags, do that. So next year, we already have the date.
Let's put it down.
It's the first first Saturday. I believe it's November 8th. So we're doing it because October, what we also found too, a lot of people, there's so much going on in October. It kicks off the holidays. So we're doing the first Saturday in November back at Whitmore.
Fantastic. Yes. I mean, by the time I saw your post, or it was like a private message or something, she's like, what was it? 211, 215? How many tickets?
We ended up, it was like 214.
Yeah. I mean, come on. From the show we just did Thursday, just a couple days before, she was sitting at 175 or 180. And then that's what people do, though. It's like, oh, it's a couple days out. Yeah, we've been hearing you talk about it for months, but let me go ahead and buy the ticket. But you know what? We're so glad you did. Yeah. But yes, she was talking over the last couple of weeks about the mad props that she gives to anybody that has to do event planning.
Oh, it's...
You had 100 silent auction baskets?
Yes. And that was all my mom. All my mom.
Shout out to mom.
My mom took our letters. I'm so proud of her because she watches the show and she knows my mission, and she knows, she goes to the places and explains and followed through and went back and collected everything and bagged them all up. So, and together we're working on thank you notes. So yeah, that was amazing.
We are both blessed, are we not? With incredible mothers working so hard. Yes, because she believes in her daughter, believes in the mission. I know she was pounding the pavement for you.
Yes.
And there were some great things. Okay. Did you hear the story about the woman's name is actually Michelle, I found out. She and I were bidding against each other on the big blow up projector movie screen. And I was like, cool, because I hadn't had a chance to come out to see all the silent auction items. So I went out about a half hour before, knowing that it was going longer.
Yeah.
And went over and went, oh, this one sounds fun. And so I bid on it, and nobody was bidding against her for a while. And she was like, who's this? So that was back and forth. And then I came out to do a countdown, and she looked at me and she's like, you're going to just say one and write down. And I look at her and I go, you can have it. She goes, sure, are you sure? I'm like, you can have it. She's the one evidently that donated for Steve Ewing to play.
Oh, Michelle. Yes. She is one of our we don't really foster, but in January when we had that lot of pregnant mamas, she opened up her home to like 3
and she
lives
3 hours away, I was told. Wow.
Yeah.
Michelle, enjoy that movie screen.
Yeah.
I did, though. I told Chuck, we did our Wet Your Whistle yesterday, and he's good friends with Chuck Wagner, who owns Camus in Napa. So I don't know who donated that, but I got the Camus bottle, the $150 gift certificate to Bristol's, and some cigars from, how do you pronounce the name of the cigar? Alios. Yes. Yeah. So my husband got some cigars. I got some good wine. I'm like, I got that to walk away with, which I thought was cool. Yeah. I love auctions. Like, look, there's so many things that you buy for yourself and for gifts for others that you get to do that, but then your heart is so full because you're giving back ultimately to the charity that you're going to. And so November 8th of next year.
November 8th. And the old school, it was a request that nobody wanted it on their phone, and I think that really, it was fun because everybody's it was old school, going around putting your pen down. That was really, really fun.
How about all of you? I mean, when you go to an auction, don't you enjoy doing that? Yeah, Julie just said I love auctions. Oh, and she said great date, November is better. Julie's a big supporter of Yuppy Puppies. She adopted at our event actually last year. She met Peppy and she went and adopted. She has a huge heart for seniors. And that's a thing that I think is, it's a rarity. We're going to talk about puppies and Christmas in just a second, but finding someone that just has this heart to say, I want to adopt seniors. I want to give them their best final days, months that they have. Yeah. Thank you for that, Julie, by the way. If you are just tuning in, positive talk time. Oh, I didn't even hit it. Let's do this. We've got to get the dogs barking. So this way I thought was really, really cool. I want to thank my past intern. You didn't get a chance to say goodbye, did you? To Ashlyn. Yep. Ashlyn's on her way. She was one of my interns from SIUE, but she put So this is the segment. We call it Positive Talk Time. So if you're new to it, spread the word. We absolutely love doing this. We've been doing it since, February?
I think so, yeah.
Yes. And so many of you came up to me and Jessica at the event and started talking about the stories of adoption. which to me really started making me cry because you sometimes get it. Hopefully, I've never been able to firsthand hear these people say, "Hey, it's because of the two of you doing this show," and let me show you. And then they started showing me family photos. That has to be so fulfilling.
It was so. And that night, I got to talk to more people than ever. I mean, the night for me went so fast, and stories, and I just love that. Remember, I adopted this dog in 2018 from you. And then all the stories and people that were there that don't even have dogs, that were just supporting our mission, and making sure that, they just wanted to come up. They're like, we're cat people, but we love what you do. And I'm like, thank you so much for being here.
And I got a chance to meet the family that adopted Cristiano, which just was, they're incredible human beings.
Yes, they are.
Really. Yeah. Again, it was so much fun, but thank you for all of you that came out. And if you didn't get a chance and you missed it, good morning, Diane. Peppy's your baby. For those of you that missed it, you already have the date. Don't wait until 24 hours before like this time to buy your tickets. But back at Whitmore, phenomenal facility. So shout out to all of those at Whitmore. The food was great. Steve was great from a music standpoint, and just all of you that showed up big time to raise money. Now, a lot of the things that we talk about is, so what are you able to do with the money that's raised? So let's talk about that. I'm going to take our first quick break, and when we come back, we'll discuss that. And then I want you to listen to this. It's very important. You might want to start sending text to people and telling them, sign on whatever the platform is that works best for them. Why she, and I have talked about this in the past, but we're getting closer to it now, why she says it is not a good idea to think of surprising your kids with a puppy under the Christmas tree. Don't do that this year. We'll explain in just a second. We are live on location, and this is the really cool thing. This is exactly what we can do from your business. We call it Mobile Monica. I'm always on the move. Everyone knows about Jody's balls, and why is that?
I have the best balls.
Oh my God. You enjoying this?
Always.
Watch this, I gotta move with her.
Orange Theory is created to help people live a more vibrant life.
When we tell you that they have some of the most beautiful sunsets, we mean it. We're now in the brainchild of Adventure Unknown. That thing
Well, you've got a heck of a
beautiful.
story behind that leopard,
I know.
It's going to be a very dangerous shoot, Diana.
It'll be
She says
fabulous.
it is. Monica or Mez Adams. How's that
Yes,
sound?
that sounds great.
This is Marianne Graff, owner of Just Be Kind Coffee House and Cafe. And you can see all the people in line. Oh, that handsome gentleman is... That would be my husband, Jim.
My mission statement says I want people to feel better leaving than when they came in.
And you do. Again, no calories when you're spreading kindness.
No calories when you're spreading kindness, especially if it's on the weekend.
Jessica and I are just sitting here laughing. It's so fun to look back, though, at this last year. And, you just, as she's doing and I'm doing, your cheeks just sit there and beam about how incredible your walk to your passion is, and the support of all the people behind us, right? Putting on those shows, not easy. Putting on a gala has not been easy, but she did it with the help of all of you. So shout out to all of you again. We just looked over on Instagram, saw the Urge Rocks, which is Steve Ewing's band that was watching. So yes, Instagram, X, Rumble, Facebook, YouTube, whatever's the best platform for you. Okay. Money-wise. So with the money that was raised, what are you able to do now?
Well, I probably need to slow down because I already have 12 we said yes to. And the first one, I thought it was full circle. It was a private email, and we get these daily. Like, I want to say, I don't even know. It's probably 50 requests a day. That's not even the list that come from the shelters. And after the gala in the morning, that was the first one I opened. And a mom is in the hospital and she's coming to the end of life. And a daughter is saying she already has elderly dogs, lots of medical needs. She needs to focus on her mom. She can't tell her mom that she can't take her dog. She doesn't know what to do. A friend of a friend told her to reach out. And so we said yes to that one. And she's coming today.
Oh,
and
what's her name?
Bella.
Bella, welcome.
And actually, she's coming tomorrow. She's coming tomorrow at around noon. And, but she wrote back, "You have given me such peace, and I can't wait to tell my mom, and it's going to give her peace." So we were able to say yes to a dog like that. And then we already have, I think, 4. We have Matilda that came, Donatello, Hickory. And then we scheduled everybody for all their vetting. So that is hopefully then we can, because what we do is we have to wait for funds to come in, or we don't say yes until we have those funds, obviously, because we don't want anybody in limbo. But it's so nice to have that full bank account to say, go ahead and spay, neuter away, you know? So,
well, and I don't know if, for those of you that are new to this segment, if you haven't heard in the past, if there's nothing wrong with them, and that's kind of rare, but if there's nothing wrong, it costs $500 just to do all those vaccinations and take care of them. So you're talking about what, $6,000 if you took 12 in, right?
Right. Yeah.
So we're already talking about $6,000 that's being used.
Yeah.
She wants to say yes to all of them. Your team though said, hold on, slow down.
Yeah,
You're like, no, the money's here.
I already got in trouble. And I'm like, well, as soon as they see their faces. But yes, because that sets us up, last year, 2023, we spent about $90,000. So yes, the end of the year fundraiser is exactly what we need to end the year and start the year. But the work that we're doing now, we're going to have to brainstorm on possibly another event in the spring or something, or rely on more donations throughout the year, because we have the room, we have the staff, we will say yes. It's just the funds for the vet care.
Sure. All right. So we're just trying to brainstorm, thinking about what would be really great. Anybody has any ideas, drop them in for a really cool spring event that could take place. And then the gala, again, we mentioned the date, November 8th at Whitmore next year. Let's see all of you that were already there. But for those of you that went, you've experienced it. You had a great time. You saw the type of money that can be raised. Let's just keep shooting higher and higher and get that place packed, get it sold out, and try to get those tickets sold early. All right, let's shift gears. Let me ask this, though. You had sent me a text about a puppy that and this kind of goes into my mindset of this, a puppy that you were going to bring in. It was a Shiba Inu. Do you have it yet?
It's coming Saturday.
Oh, you all, you know what? I don't have a picture of it, but it's what, 12 weeks old?
Probably 12 weeks old now.
Boy or girl?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
This is how funny it is. I went like this and I go, look at this dog. And Jim's like, no, Monica. But she knows I'm a big Shiba Inu fan. I went like this and I opened up and I'm like, I can't tell if it's a boy or girl.
Yeah.
So they're going to look in the picture. Well, if you are a fan of a Shiba Inu, that's a puppy that's coming in. However, no puppies under the Christmas tree. Why?
Right. Because a puppy is not a gift. You wouldn't put your brand new adoptive child under a tree and be like, this is for you. It's a lifelong commitment. And so honestly, if you're wanting to add a dog to your life, I would wait till New Year's and celebrate, 2025 is a new beginning for this new dog. If you want to have, a memorable experience or create that, but not Christmas, because it correlates with young kids, especially because are they really going to play with the Legos and the kitchen and the doll set and everything they got under the tree? The same thing's going to happen to the dog. And you just don't want them to correlate that with, you still have to play with your Legos. You still have to play with that dog. Like, that's totally different. Yeah. So yeah, definitely start, or even Valentine's Day, make it into more of a, we are sharing love and all of that, but not a gift.
And you've never done Christmas puppies,
we don't do
right?
any Christmas puppies. So
puppies.
Yeah. So if our puppies, if we have any puppies at Christmas, we don't, we'll say we'll go through the process, but we will not give them till after the New Year's. Okay.
But you'll adopt adult dogs.
Well, yes. Yeah.
And so from an open house standpoint, you haven't had one in a little bit, right?
Yeah, we're having one Friday.
Friday. Okay. And so if you haven't been to an open house, tell them what it is and what time it is, et cetera.
So our open houses are open meet and greets. Even if you don't have anybody in mind, that kind of starts the process. So it's from 12 to 4:30 at the Caldwell location. Mm-hmm. And if you have been watching someone and you just want to meet them, that's what it's about too. And then if you're like, I can't stop thinking about that dog, we begin the application process and the private meet and greet process. But if you just stop by and say, I'm looking for a dog who likes to walk and this, and we say, well, let us let you meet this one, and kind of go from there.
This is what's interesting. I have a story of a woman. She's a very dear friend of mine. It's her mom. And she posted this about a week ago, and she was all excited. She had lost her husband about a year or so ago, and didn't have anything in the house, right? And they used to have, I think they had Bichons and maybe poodles over the years. So she had been watching our show, and she's like, I didn't know anything about Yuppy Puppy. I think I'm interested to see maybe if they have any. Well, I don't know where she'd adopted a dog from, but so she got one.
Okay.
Well, here's what happened though. That dog was used to being with other dogs. So, but she only wanted one dog.
Yeah.
The dog would not go to the bathroom for her on a leash.
Yeah.
I saw that. It was like, I guess she had the possibility of like 72 hours to see if it would work, but the dog ended up going back to the foster. I reached out to her and I said, hey, do you want me to talk with Jessica and see if there is any particular type of dog you're looking for? And she's like, not right now. So I think she was so excited and so, literally she's like, my heart is so full. Now she seems really upset and depressed again.
Yeah. And so we have dogs that are like Maynard. We wouldn't adopt out even if somebody wanted them that didn't have dogs. He's a dog that's truly like that. He is going to thrive. And same thing, he's a shadow of another dog. Right? So by putting him in a home, even if somebody wants him, they don't have other dogs, frustration is going to begin. It's not going to be conducive to that environment.
No, and she's a little, I want to say she's old. She's older. And so everyone's like, oh, just try it a little bit more. And she's like, it's not working. She said she went and took the dog out like 7 or 8 times over a 7-hour period. And the dog would not go on a leash. Yeah. And I was like, oh, but don't let that discourage you.
I do agree though too, because a 72-hour trial period is they're going to change. Like our dogs are completely different in 48 hours, 72 hours, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So you can't really judge a dog by that either, because they are just going to change,
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see when it's time. And again, we always say, right, you'll know when it's time for people. We've talked about this, which is really difficult, but I heard it come up in the news the other day, and somebody was talking about the loss of an animal and just how absolutely devastating it is. And one of our most powerful, we've had some hilarious shows. We've had some really powerful shows. We've cried together, laughed together. One of our powerful shows was a woman saying, will you please discuss when you'll know it's time after the loss. We've all experienced the loss. I told you my brother has never, ever adopted again in 30 something years. Yeah. He's like, I just can't go through it. And his comment always was, Jessica, it's an unnecessary heartache. And I'm like, what do you mean by that?
That's true about life though.
Right.
Would you not get married? Would you not have children? Would you not? There's so many. That's what life is about. Yep. Heartaches and joy and all the things. And he probably would be a good candidate to go walk shelter dogs.
Agreed. Because again, he absolutely loved them, but it's been so long. And then his sons didn't get a chance to grow up, which as soon as they moved out of the house, boom, dogs, right? I think that one of them has 3 dogs, but what about you? It is a difficult thing for me. I think the biggest thing that people need to remember is that you are not replacing the dog. Right. And I think that's what they feel. You agree with that?
Yes. And that's not a good way to look at it, because then that dog is going to be set up for failure too. Because if you compare, no one's going to compare to your first dog. Like I had the best pug ever, I say, and I would never get a pug saying I had the best pug ever. Cherub was great, because they're not going to be replaced like that, So just opening it up to they're going to do new quirky things, and you're going to enjoy that dog for these reasons.
Yes. And there's so many that need your love. Obviously, as she told you, she just took in another 12 that she's going to be able to introduce. They bring them in, they vet them, they get all their shots and vaccinations done, get them spayed and neutered. Then if you follow, which I highly recommend you follow their social media pages, they then will say, okay, this one's up for adoption. Michelle said Valentine's event with a doggy kissing booth. Yes, so she wanted me to tell you about this. So I don't know where it was, but people were paying to smooch the pooch. Okay. Have you done that before?
We have not.
So everybody loves, maybe not everybody, but the majority of us love dog kisses. Yeah. So we could put that as an element to an event.
Yeah.
But that's February. You're thinking more spring?
Yeah, we're still recovering.
You need some sleep.
Unless we have a volunteer event planner, we'll show up. You just tell us where to go with the dogs.
Well, I actually had, I will tell you, we've got something planned. It's still in the works, but we got something planned that we're doing with the Real Monica Adams Show in February. And we're talking about benefiting the American Heart Association, the American Red Cross, doing like a blood drive, Heart Month. So focusing on heart health. Women, unfortunately, the number one killer of women is heart disease, not cancer, but heart disease. But they also said, Monica, I know you're a big supporter of Yuppy Puppies. What do you think about doing a runway show? Now, this is what you had said.
And dogs can lower your heart rate too when you pet them.
See, well, I would like to be able to do it then, but here's the problem we're up against. And you all can kind of interact with us about this. You said, I love it, but where is it located? Well, it's in Fenton. They'd be coming from Cowdellville. So you talked about the anxiety of the car ride, right?
Yes, it's a long car ride because it's like when we transport dogs, it's a lot on them for the day. And then we usually give them time to decompress. Anytime it's a long car ride, they just wouldn't be set up for success. They might not be in their right element.
Right.
Yeah.
She was saying that maybe she's got a few, but at that point you don't know, right? So here we are 4 months away. So who knows? We're hoping that they're not here because ideally we get them adopted out. My idea was the success stories of the dogs who have now been around a family and are okay maybe with car rides. I don't know. We've got some ideas, but Michelle, thank you though. Smooch a Pooch. The picture of the Shiba Inu puppy that is coming in on Saturday was so cute. Oh yes, I showed her. I'll take a break. I'll get a picture of the dog. We also though, we want to switch gears and talk about people that see these dogs that are up for adoption at these pet stores, etc. The story behind it. Like here, what did you post? It was like, here's the daughter.
Yep.
And then here's the stressed out mama.
Yes.
That's all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand what we mean by that? If not, that's what we're going to discuss. So we'll have more of this, the Real Monica Adams Show with Jessica Cook, the owner of Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa in Cowdellville when we return.
Welcome to the mobile Monica version of the Real Monica Adams Show at my favorite restaurant. There's something about a coffee house that's just very warm and welcoming.
Gives you that sense of community.
What are you most proud of since you've opened it?
I cry easily. I'm thankful for everybody here.
You opened the door during the middle of the pandemic. You got the best Italian restaurant in the United States. Here in St. Louis, you put us on the map.
Does it scare you? Go through fear?
Terrifying.
So how do you get past the fear?
We find something to laugh about.
So yesterday we had Jennifer Warman-Bloss in studio with us for our Wellness Wednesday. She owns Elemental Aesthetics. There you go. You walk in. It is 425 North New Ballas Road, and there's the suite 206. We've talked a lot about facials. Yesterday, though, we were talking about treatments that people might want to have. The Agnes treatment, not just for the face, but the chest, the back, the body, the arms, the legs, if there are spider veins that people don't like, or there's just a discoloration on your face, maybe damage from the sun. So much that Jennifer and her staff can do. We've talked about some lasers. We've talked about IPL. She mentioned what that was yesterday. The cool peel that I hear people are loving because it takes so many years off their life. They suddenly are looking at saying, I look like I'm 10 years younger now. Elemental Aesthetics can do this for you. They also do weight loss consultation and that, which you're seeing right there, IV hydration therapy. Again, Elemental Aesthetics, give them a call or go online and book your service at elementalaesthetics.com. All right, it is 7:40. Welcome back. I do have the picture, so let me bring it up. Kathleen saw it at the gala. This is the puppy that I'm talking about. Come on, folks. Are you kidding me? Do you know what a Shiba Inu is? It's actually a Japanese hunting dog. They're in the Akita family. So we can't tell. See, I kept going like this.
I know.
I was like, I can't tell. Is it a boy or a girl? So you've had Shibas here before also. And I want to bring that up for a reason because so many people that have never thought about adopting from a rescue, because in your mind, you're like, oh, but I would really like to have a purebred. You have so many purebreds and mixed dogs.
Yeah. And I love that dog is coming because it's a breeder surrender and his Shibas are not selling. which is great. So they're just giving them all to rescues.
Oh.
And so that means there's a dent being made, because when the sale isn't there for these breeders and they are not making money, they just discard them like trash.
Yeah.
And they're not trash to us. And that means we have a small win, because then that dog is not going to be raised in a cage for a lifetime to pump out more Shiba Inus that people are spending money for.
I love this. Again, I had never seen this dog, this breed, until there was an auction that I was doing. And I'm like, and by the way, I'm just going to say, look, everybody has different ideas, but it never made sense to me to auction off a dog. Because I was like, you came here to an auction tonight and suddenly you're heading home with a dog?
Yeah.
Right? I know you're not a fan of it, right?
If you follow us, so we do one dog for United Services, because I was the champion for children. We trained their therapy dog there that helps every day the children with special needs, nonverbal, come in. And he makes such a difference in these nonverbal children's life that so many families there were like, can we get a dog like this from you? Can we get a dog? So we find one special dog, train it, and to make sure it's set up for success, and then auction off that night. So we know that dog is going to a special needs children's home.
So it's a good tie already.
And we've done 3 of them. They come back for more training. We help them, and they know that if it doesn't work out, they come back to us. So that's the only group. They assign an adoption contract just like they would, and they're all thriving, and all are like, these are the best dogs ever. They've made such a big difference.
Oh, that's I didn't know that. That's a good.
Yeah.
Again, I love the fact that we are able to raise some big money, but it's just hard. It's hard. And I hope they've all been successful. But literally every time I've auctioned off a dog, I always come back to the table and I'm like, did you come here tonight? Like, expecting
to do you have a bowl?
No, do you have
a bowl?
That's what I say. Do they have a pillow? Do they have anything to drink out of? And they're like, most of them say we knew there was going to be this dog and we were ready for it. And I was like, okay. But other ones, I'm like, you're heading home with a dog.
Yeah.
Yes, Michelle, please support those that support us. Absolutely. All right. So let's talk about the other aspect. So for those, and again, we always do the hashtag. And so Hannah, do me a favor and do hashtag adopt, don't shop. I'm not ever shaming anyone. We won't do that. I mean, I love the fact that you're an animal lover, but look at this picture that Jessica provided. So here you go. Here's the daughter for sale. Let's do this if you can see. Daughter for sale, right? The little one. And then mother at the breeder. I'm going to get real close with it. Look at this. So this adorable puppy that you see in a pet store or online was born in a puppy mill. And Missouri is it number one?
Number one.
We are the number one puppy mill. The state of Missouri is the number one puppy mill capital. And it has been for the entire time I've been in the news.
13 years.
I think, if not longer.
Did
we go up and down maybe?
No, we've never went down, but we're on the horrible 100. We have the horrible 100 breeders in Missouri. And I don't care what people say when they say, I got this dog from the Ozarks, a farm, a rural town. Google Earth, do a Department of Ag search. Your dog 100% came from a puppy mill, a backyard breeder. They might have a smaller operation, but we're pulling dogs out of houses and basements and Baldwin, and they're not breaking any laws. That's the thing is we did the show where we talked about 2 inches in front of their face, as long as they have a rabbit water bottle, fresh water, and that they're not breaking any laws, because dogs are considered in the category of livestock in Missouri. So when they say, oh, they were raised in a home, I got them in Baldwin. Well, I guarantee they're not just breeding one mom and one dad that they've fully vetted and they're bettering the breed. It's a business. They're making money on it, and that's not okay.
No, and you know what? I had this conversation with somebody the other night, and they said, well, how come a politician doesn't step forward and make this their passion project, and that's the policies that they stand on, and they eradicate this?
That's a good question. And I don't know. I've been trying to advocate and research, because we need to change the laws.
Absolutely.
We have to change the laws. And why does Missouri still allow pet stores? Let's stop with that to stop the demand. Why are they considered livestock? It's a domesticated dog. It's not the same as a farmer who wants to have 50 heifers, but he has 500 acres. It's not the same. Right. These are dogs, and we have to change. And there are some things in play, but we will see on election day if hopefully those people I'm rooting for that I know can do the change win. And that'll be a step in the right direction.
If you're just tuning in, again, Positive Talk Time. We sit down and talk about a lot of topics that have to do with your pets, but your pets are your babies. That's how it needs to be. When you think of adopting, it is not for a temporary time period. This is for life, for their life, for the very last breath on earth that they are near you, and they know that love because they've given you 10 times, trust us, they've given you 10 times that type of love. I've never asked this question. What do you think, and again, you've been around this from a rescue, how many years again have you been rescuing? Officially?
Officially, the nonprofit formed 2018. 18,
but you were doing it before that, and then it had to become a thing. What do you think is in the mind of a person who becomes a puppy mill, a hoarder kind of a situation, and then goes into running a puppy mill? I mean, have you ever sat down and...
Well, I think, so I do think a lot of people, they're making money once they get a taste of what's new. What do people want? What is the latest craze? Is it a Frenchie? What's on all the merch? Mm-hmm. And how I can get one of these and I can get one of these and make it. And it's at the end of the day, it's greed.
Fueled by greed.
Fueled by greed.
But I don't know. I could go on and on with this, and maybe we do a future show on this, but I understand people saying, oh, I can make money on something, but wouldn't you take the extra step to do a lot of great care? It's not. I mean, they're all laying on top of each other. They're in feces. Yeah. They're not. That's what doesn't make sense.
Right. A true. There are far and few, because the breeders that really do this, that better the breed, usually don't make any money, and they are wealthy, and they don't rely on the sale of the dog for an income. Right. It's I want to say not a hobby, but it's that people are, it's just like with equestrians and they're usually because honestly, to get the best of the best, to have someone show your dog, because it's all about bettering the breed. So to take, say, a female that then has a hip check, they're not going to breed that dog. They're going to find that dog a home, and they're going to spay it. Mm. And so many of the puppy mills, they don't care. Mm. So a dog has, 10 ribs, a wonky eye, has seizures, but puts out cute puppies. That's what you're going to get.
It's like a factory.
It's a factory.
Look at that mama. I mean, come on. Cute little puppy. But look at mom, what she's been through. The other thing that ticks me off is when you see these moms. I mean, you think moms at home, you have a baby, or maybe you've had a few, or maybe you've had twins, maybe you've had triplets. I mean, I don't know. Just to think about the exhaustive efforts of going through the pregnancy. But I see these poor moms, mm-hmm. and how they're just coming out of the litter, and who knows how big the litter was. And then they do it to them again, and over and over. Yeah. That's heartbreaking, folks. That's what you need to be thinking about.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. And the 3 chipmunks that we had, there was like 20 Havanese, Maltese. And again, when you look at them, of course they're cute, but they're not breed standard. The Maltese doesn't really look like a Maltese. He might, but he wasn't bettering the breed. He didn't have the short nose and the statue and measured. They're just pumping out little white dogs and selling them as Maltese because people say, oh, I want a Maltese, and they're pumping it out. And they had never had, it always amazes me, the breeder surrenders, because they were about between 3 and 5 years old. So all they've ever done is come out to mate. They were all males. So when we take them outside, they have no idea what a leash is. They're stepping on the grass. They're looking at the sun and the clouds. I mean, it's truly like somebody who was tortured in captivity and kept away. And so, and again, it takes special people to realize they might get better, they might not, but it's such a joy to see these dogs. I mean, when the first time they play and run and they scare themselves because they're like, that I just had excitement. What is that? That's a different feeling. It's amazing.
I agree. So you know what? You just mentioned something that might be true. We don't know the background. For those of you that know the last dog that we adopted a couple of years ago, Opus, we got him from a rescue. Don't know his backstory. Figure he was probably abused, but when he steps on grass, he was always like, "What is this?" So I think he was kept thrown in a cage.
Yeah, probably. They rarely go outside, so it's just like concrete floors. And the thing that people don't understand is, oh, well, I got a puppy. Well, so dogs get, I think, 75% of personality from their mom. So if their mom is like, these breeder surrenders, your puppy's going to be a little, timid, shy, reactive, whatever, because they get that from their mom. So just because you get this puppy does not mean that it's going to be this bouncy, happy puppy, and how you raise it. They genetically could have some behaviors that are unknown.
She also told me something in the past that I thought was interesting. And I was like, oh, I've done a DNA on this dog and this dog. Well, this one's obviously full blood. She goes, you don't know that. So we're showing you the Shiba Inu, but we don't know that the Shiba is 100% Shiba.
No, because we did DNA tests on the guy that was breeding all the Havanese, and they were a mix of a little bit of everything. And so somebody was buying these Havanese for, who knows, $2,000, $5,000, and they were a good old Shih Tzu, Maltese, Havanese, Poodle, Yorkie thing.
You're a mix, period. And I'll tell you what, I personally, I've obviously had these maybe purebred dogs, but there's been so many health problems with them. And then I have all these wonderful mixed mutts, and they live longer and they're healthier. Why is that?
Yeah. I think that, so the dogs that are purebred, it's predictable. Like, we know Goldens get a lot of cancer. We know Schnauzers can be epileptic and get, like, it's just more predictable of what they're going to have. And I think when it's kind of, nature kind of does its thing too, when it's just, they put the best of things and things, I don't know. Maybe it's just more predictable and you just don't know the mixed breed because it has so many. Or maybe it's because if the Goldens are prone to cancer, but it's mixed with all these other things, that takes over. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier about people wanting the next best mix, et cetera. What are you hearing right now that people are saying? Because again, we're getting ready to come into the holidays and we don't want you doing this, but think about next year. What are the popular dogs right now?
We do have to say doodles are slowing down.
Are they?
Which are good. Yeah, because I think now people know, I have a neighbor who has a doodle and it's crazy, and I have a doodle. Or people are being educated on knowing that it's just a mixed breed of kind of all different things. And there's so many fantastic ones, but when they're breeding them for the purpose of supply and demand, I think that is slowing down.
Frenchie's still hot?
Frenchies are still hot, unfortunately. I love the Frenchies, but we say anybody who has a Frenchie better have like an unlimited American Express card, because their vet bills are through the roof all the time. Yeah, they're a mutant. They literally aren't supposed to look how humans made them. If you look up what an original Frenchie is, they don't have the short nose. They have the long. They're much more leggy, and so, just like the English Bulldogs, we've condensed them into what we think is cute. So we're breeding for palate issues and gut issues and, potty issues, all the things. We're compacting them because we think this is cute, but the breed is like, help me, my spleen needs room.
I can't fit in this body.
Yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about, and this is a whole nother news topic. We're talking about what could possibly come to humans about cloning. That's literally what's been done.
Yeah.
You are designing what you want in a dog, and it's a dangerous thing. So the doodles. Okay.
And I would say we do have a trend. What we're seeing, it's not necessarily a specific breed. People are wanting certain colors. they're like, I was looking for a dog with blue eyes. I'm looking for that rare speckled color, which are all like recessive issues. And so they're looking for the dogs that are gonna. So I think we're gonna see a lot of allergies and
Great.
issues. Yeah,
The vets are happy. They're like, more, bring more to us. Well, I mean, yeah, I've always been drawn. Have I ever had one? No. And I think this comes back to the thing of connection and why you go to open houses, which again, one's coming up Friday. We'll mention that again. I, of course, love blue eyes. So I used to be drawn to a Siberian Husky. I'm like, ooh, the blue eyes. And then I realized how crazy they are. And I'm like, I don't have the room for them to run. So you might come in and think, I want a dog with blue eyes. And then all of a sudden this other dog shows you this love and you have the connection, which is why open houses are so important. So tell them again, Friday from noon to 4?
Noon to 4:30.
Noon to 4:30 at this location, by the way, the Cowdleville location. Give them your address.
5289 Highway N, Cowdleville, Missouri. We're inside of Yuppy Puppies. So many people are like, I can't find Yuppy Puppies Forever. And we're like, we're inside Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa.
Yes. And then again, think about getting your animals ready as you get ready to have your events, take your pictures, Christmas cards. People start doing this early, having them come in. But I'm sure you're going to start getting more and more and more heavily booked.
Oh yeah,
as you head into the holidays.
Here we're a full busy salon the holiday time, and we are seeing so many people are doing training, which is fantastic because we're huge on that here. So all of our dogs also too. People are like, oh, I adopted the best dog ever. Meanwhile, we're like, that's because behind the scenes we've been doing 6 weeks of training. So
and you got to continue that.
Yes, and so now's the time to sign up for training. So when all those guests come over, they'll be so impressed that they're not running out the door, they're not jumping, they're not table surfing, and also being their advocate. Like I host Christmas. I have 2 dogs that my extended family has never seen. And I'm okay with that because they were dogs that I adopted that are fantastic with my home, my dogs. They don't like new people and new strangers, and I'm not going to force it and be one of those people that, they get overwhelmed, they bite somebody, and then I turn it into the shelter. We're going to see lots of that. When they are fine sleeping in the back room and then coming out when my guests leave.
Or when they're gone.
Or
and that's okay.
Gone. Yeah.
We'll show you a picture. We'll show you a video of them.
Yeah. Yes.
After you're gone, they get to have their time with mom and dad. So so many different things, again, to set them up for success and for you all to have a successful party as you go into the holidays. All right, before we wrap up, you want to show our shirts?
Yeah.
We have matching shirts on. We're not going to do who wore it better.
Yeah.
All right, let me bring this down so you can see what it says. Like dignity. It's dognity.
Yes.
All right, so tell us about this. What does it say? What's the definition?
Let's see. Dognity. Noun, the respect, love, and care that every dog should be given.
Oh boy, isn't that true? So
our friend Tracy Roundfoot, Second Chance Ranch, gave us these shirts to wear, and she's helping create a movement to spay and neuter dogs. And then each time a shirt is purchased, a portion goes to our rescue group or your rescue group of choosing on her website.
And so where do we go to buy these?
It's dognity.com.
.com. Okay, dognity.com. Where did she come up with that? Do you know?
She's marketing genius.
Smart,
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The dignity that a dog deserves is what it is. Dognity. So again, a portion of the proceeds, if you want to purchase these shirts, please do so. Again, we're thinking about all these different unique gifts that you can get around the holidays. Super, super excited. And I also want to give a shout out to your son who cracked me up, by the way, when I first walked in. What's his name?
Parker.
Parker, yes. He's like, I wanted to meet you. He's like, I watch you two on a regular basis. And I say, there they are on TV.
Yes. My family, they're huge supporters. I had them working from we were at the event from 8:00 in the morning till cleanup at midnight, and they did it with a smile, and we're like, we're so proud of you, Mom, and even danced around in the Aladdin costume for me.
Okay, that's so hopefully, if you haven't yet, do me a favor, go back to my social pages and look at the reel that I put together right afterwards. But I was sitting there talking to my husband, and I go, oh, there's a genie in here. And I'm like, look at this. I'm like, oh, she must have like hired somebody. And then I later find out it's her son.
Yeah.
What a trooper.
Yes. Yeah.
Parker, hello. to your mother, to your husband, your entire family. Yes, they did it all. They worked their butts off and they did it with a smile. And even your daughter's new boyfriend.
Yes. Oh, brownie points.
Right?
Yeah. He is great. I know.
He was cleaning up after. He was so sweet.
Yes, he was there in the morning. He did everything. Yeah, I just
What's his name?
Alex.
Alex. Is this new?
Newer-ish, but yeah, it's
They're adorable.
They're
Beautiful
adorable.
couple, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, it was good. See how we're just all still smiling. Wait, I don't know what that one says. Tracy Ray Rumpf. Love her.
That's from
she
Second
knows her?
Chance. Yeah.
Oh, well, isn't that cool? Michelle? Well, thank you. All right, let me bop over real quick before we say goodbye so we didn't miss anybody. Everybody's just watching today, enjoying. Well, again, so to let you all know, so we're taking a break, right? Because you've got a lot of holiday stuff.
Yeah, I'll be. I still groom, and so I groom all my clients. I'll be busy at the holiday time, and then also we work really hard trying to get all our dogs in a home before the holidays. But it has to be the right fit, so we really have to get all the things in place for that to happen. Otherwise, they will. It's okay. We'll have them here. They'll be our guests for Christmas. We always have Santa come and they get something special.
When do you start that?
He usually comes like the first or second week in December. Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, Christmas pictures with Santa are always so huge.
Yeah.
Those can be just as funny as your kids, whether they love Santa or they're trying to bite Santa.
Yeah.
And let's say this because we said it at a break. We didn't say it on air, but Michelle mentioned something about smooching a pooch, and you said that well, there's a couple things. You want always, and we keep saying this, to set the animals up for success, but it is kind of hard to just get in their face.
Yeah, and that's something like we wouldn't, you have to read the room. Like, of course, then maybe puppies and stuff, but that's one of our meet and greet things is like, okay, we're not going to put our face in the dog's face, but also too, just being in the animal world for so long and vet tech and all the things that are zoonotic that we can get. So like all the parasites and all the things. So I always let the dogs kiss me like right here.
So she says, don't let them kiss
on
you.
the mouth.
All right. Well, Adelaide somehow is like a little ninja. And while my clients are down doing a plank and they're laughing, she gets her tongue right in their mouth. And they're like, ew, gross. I'm like, please don't have anything.
Yeah.
Julie just said, beautiful family, Jessica. She does have an absolutely beautiful family. All right. It is 8:03. So thank you. But I wanted to let you know. So people love this segment. Obviously, we've been seeing like 50 something people hopping on and off and on and off. We don't want you to tune in and go, where is it? So it's because they're so busy for the holidays. We want to have you get in, book your appointments. Please book them early. And yes, get your Christmas cards ready to go. Get the animals all beautiful and groomed. I know there's a lot of vacations that people take throughout the winter. So remember Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa for Cottleville location and the O'Fallon location.
We are almost booked for hotel for Thanksgiving. So if you haven't gotten your Thanksgiving and then Christmas, like we're always at capacity. All of our regulars that know the routine, they get in.
Again, so if you're new to it and you're like, okay, can I try? Always make a phone call. So if you're interested in the open house or you're interested in adopting any of the dogs, do not call the spa because it's a separate entity. So you have to go online and take a look at the animals that are available. The dogs that you had at the gala. So we're talking about Sherlock and Bart and Autumn. All still available?
All still available.
And then you mentioned the chipmunks earlier. Were they all adopted?
We still have Alvin.
So Michelle was asking about that the other day. Alvin is still available. How many dogs do you have right now? You just took 12 in, but they're not all adopted ready yet.
I know. Right now, I think we have 28, but we have some that I haven't introduced because they came last night, and then we have more coming today, Friday, and Saturday.
All right.
So it's a busy intake week.
And thank you, Hannah, by the way. There you go. So when I just said don't call the spa, she just dropped in the link for you. always look at that pet finder link, and that way you can see the animals. But really, it would be great for you to come into the open house, because there might be some that haven't made it onto there yet. Get an opportunity to experience their personalities. How do you work together? Ask the questions of, is it good with other dogs? Are they good with kids? Are they good with cats? All those things. Again, success.
And we're extremely honest and want it to be a success. So we've talked before, like, we have a spicy dog and it's going to take a spicy owner and all the things. So it's all, and the meet and greet process, there's no rush. So we always will take as long as it takes, because, and even if we go through that whole process and it's not the right fit, we would rather have that dialect and conversation with somebody and say, that's okay. We will find you another right fit, because the end goal is always home forever. Home forever.
And I just love, again, it makes me so proud of the work you and I have done together to look back at this past year and think of all of the animals that have been adopted and all the money that's been raised and just the awareness aspect. It's been fun to see some of them where you're like Karen.
Yes.
I just love that.
Yes.
I met that guy. He actually came in one time when we wrapped up the show, and he's like, yeah, I got her. He's like, she's sassy, but I'm the right one. And it is. It's all about that great fit.
Yes.
There's some wonderful unicorns here that you sit there and wonder, why haven't they been adopted yet? So just like last year, this time last year, I was on a mission to get Cristiano adopted. We spread it like crazy. I ended up, meeting the family. They have three or four? Three other dogs. Yep. And Cristiano is living his best life. So I want the same for Jalapeno. Yes. Can we please just start spreading like crazy? Yes. Wouldn't that be a wonderful Christmas gift?
Do you know, I haven't shared it yet. And I'm going to try to get a video today. He now is standing on his own to eat his food.
So he's not using his wheels at all anymore.
Not at all. And so we posted that the better he gets, like that, we've seen him now stand up and eat that's huge.
Absolutely.
And it's making him feel more confident and comfortable that for the first time ever, he was around dogs in the lobby and was calm. So that he's feeling better. He just keeps getting better and better and better.
And that's just going to keep happening. Yeah. Again, with the right person or family that will adopt him to keep everything going, the therapy, the water therapy that he had been doing, and then all the other therapy. What is your chiropractor? Tyler. He was there at the gala also, talked to him for a while, just told him how great the work is that he's done. But yes, this is what they do. That extra whole level of care that Jessica and her staff does is just mind-blowing. So if you're new to the show, great. Thank you for tuning in. So we're going to take a little pause. You're not going to see us for the next couple of months. I want you to have wonderful holidays with your animals, get the pictures taken, but come into the open houses, click on the pet finder so you can see a dog. When it's your time, I want you to remember Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue. So thank you all so very, very much. I hope you have an incredible day. And then tomorrow we're going to keep the dogs going, by the way. Have you seen the guy that has the dog that is in his Uber car? And it's Uber dog?
No.
So we reached out to him on Instagram, and his name is Kevin Furman, I believe. And I said, I'd love to have you on the show, because the dog is just so super sweet and is sitting there. And then people are like, can I pet your dog? He's like, yes, that's what he's here for. So I ended up reaching out to him, found out that he actually was born in Chesterfield. So he doesn't live here, but he was born in Chesterfield. He has a tie back to our St. Louis area. But the cool thing is what he is trying to do with having the job with Uber and raise money to try to build a skate park. Because growing up, that was the thing that he did. And he wants to do that because he wants to keep kids doing something they love and off the streets and going into doing things you don't want them doing. Right? It's got a cool tie. So we're going to continue to talk about dogs tomorrow.
Yes, that's awesome.
And he better have the dog sitting right next to him, even though they're not here in person. So more doggies tomorrow. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to miss you over the next couple months.
You're not going to be a stranger.
No, of course
we'll keep
not.
you posted.
Of course not. So please do us a favor. You are on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok. Any others?
Nope, that's all the social.
So follow them on all those. Yuppy Puppy Pet Spa, again, Yuppy Puppies Forever Rescue, and continue to help saving the babies. All right, everybody, have a wonderful one. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Hope you enjoy your day, and remember, spread the love of kindness. Sure.